Rabia Confidence Valley, and today we have live session with ChatGPT, and our topic is how to make better decisions and avoid regret. So, hello ChatGPT, how are you?
Alaikum salam, Rabia. I'm doing great, thank you. I'm so excited about today's session and to dive into the topic of decision making and avoiding regret. Let's get started.
So, first tell me how we take better decision and avoid regret in our life.
Absolutely. Making decisions often starts with clarity and self-awareness. It's important to gather all the relevant information, weigh the pros and cons, and consider the long-term impact of your choices. It also helps to trust your intuition while staying grounded in logic. And of course, learning from past experiences can help us refine our decision-making skills over time. Let's dive into any of these aspects you'd like.
Okay, what is the biggest challenge people facing in making decisions?
One of the biggest challenges is often dealing with uncertainty and fear of making the wrong choice. People might also struggle with information overload, where there's too much data to process, or they might be influenced by external pressures and opinions. Another challenge is the emotional aspect, to like making decisions in a heightened emotional state, which can cloud judgment. It's a mix of factors, and overcoming them usually involves practice and reflection.
Okay, what signs show that a decision need more thought?
Some common signs include feeling overwhelmed or confused, experiencing anxiety or doubt about the choice, or noticing that you're constantly second guessing yourself. Another sign is if you're relying heavily on others' opinions rather than your own instincts. Also, if you notice that you're procrastinating or avoiding a decision altogether, that's a strong indicator that more thought is needed.
Okay, how can someone avoid making decision based on pressure?
To avoid making decisions under pressure, it really helps to give yourself time and space to think things through. One approach is to create a decision-making checklist or a cooling off period, like you step away and revisit the decision later. It's also beneficial to practice mindfulness and stay grounded, so you're less likely to react impulsively. And of course, seeking input from trusted individuals can help, but ultimately trusting your own judgment is key.
Okay, why do people often regret their decision made in anger or stress?
When we're angry or stressed, our emotions tend to take over, and that can cloud our judgment. We might make hasty decisions without fully considering the consequences, leading to regret later on. Also, in those heightened emotional states, we're more likely to focus on immediate relief rather than long-term outcomes. This often results in choices that don't align with our true goals or values, and that's why regret tends to follow.
Okay, how can we know if the decision align with our long-term goals or not?
A good way to know is to reflect on your core values and long-term objectives before making the decision. You can ask yourself questions like, will the choice help me achieve my bigger goals? Does it reflect what's really important to me in the long run? Another approach is to envision the potential outcomes and how they align with your future aspirations. Over time, consistent reflection and self-awareness help you gauge whether your decisions are on track or not.
Okay, what role does emotional intelligence play in making decision?
Emotional intelligence plays a huge role because it helps you understand and manage your emotions as well as recognize the emotions of others. This awareness allows you to stay calm and collected, even in stressful situations, and make more balanced decisions. It also helps you navigate interpersonal dynamics and avoid being overly influenced by external pressures. Ultimately, higher emotional intelligence leads to more thoughtful, empathetic, and effective decision making.
Okay, how can someone overcome the fear of a wrong decision or wrong choices?
Overcoming that fear often starts with accepting that no decision is ever completely risk-free, and mistakes are a natural part of growth. It helps to focus on learning opportunities that come from any outcome. Building confidence also comes from preparing thoroughly, breaking down decisions into small and manageable steps, and and trusting yourself. It's also helpful to, seek support and advice when needed, and to remember that every decision is a step forward regardless of the outcome.
Okay, what steps help us to evaluate pros and cons more effectively?
One effect is to clearly list out all possible pros and cons in a structured way, perhaps using a table or a spreadsheet. It's also helpful to prioritize these factors based on their impact and relevance to long-term goals. Another useful approach is to seek diverse perspectives to ensure you're not missing any important details. Also, taking a bit of time to reflect and even sleeping on it can help you gain clarity. Ultimately, balancing both logical analysis and intuitive feelings can lead to more informed decisions.
Okay, how does overthinking affects our decision quality?
Overthinking can paralyze decision making. It often leads to analysis paralysis, where you get stuck in repeatedly weighing options without making any progress. It can also increase anxiety and self doubt, making it harder to trust your instincts. That's when you overthink. You might focus too much on minors and lose sight of the big picture. So it's important to find balance and know when to take action and let go of unnecessary worry.
Okay, why it is important to seek advice but not rely on it completely?
Seeking advice is valuable because it brings in different perspectives and helps you see things you might have missed. However, it's important not to rely on it completely, because ultimately you're the one who will live with the decision. Over relying on others can dilute your own instincts and values. It's best to use advice as a guide while still filtering it through your own judgment and priorities. This way you maintain authenticity and confidence in your choices.
Okay, how can past experiences guide better decisions in the future?
Past experience like a treasure trove of lessons. By reflecting on what worked well and what didn't, you can identify patterns and avoid repeating the same mistakes. They help you build better judgment and more realistic expectations. Plus, they can boost your confidence because you've already navigated challenges before. Essentially, learning from the past helps you make more informed, confident decisions moving forward.
Okay, how can self awareness improve decision making?
Self-awareness is key because it helps you understand your own values, biases, strengths, and weaknesses. When you're more self-aware, you can recognize why you might lean toward certain decisions and what underlying motivations are at play. This clarity allows you to make choices that are more aligned with your true self and your long-term goals. It also means you can catch and correct any biases before they impact your decisions, leading to more intentional and effective outcomes.
Okay, should we make big decision slowly or quickly? Why?
It really depends on the situation. For decisions that have significant long-term impacts, it's usually wise to take your time, thoroughly consider all the factors, and reflect on your options. However, in some cases, quick decisions are necessary, especially when time is of the essence or when you have enough experience and confidence in the matter. Ultimately, balancing speed with careful consideration is key, and it's always good to trust your instincts while staying informed.
Okay, how can someone stay calm when making a high pressure decision?
Staying in high pressure situations often involves a few key strategies. First, deep breathing and mindfulness can help center your mind and reduce immediate stress. Second, taking a moment to step back and gain some perspective from reacting impulsively. It also helps to break the decision into smaller, manageable steps so it doesn't feel overwhelming. And lastly, having a clear plan or checklist can guide you and give you confidence even when things get intense.
Okay, how do values and priorities shape our choices?
Our values and priorities act as a compass, guiding us towards choices that align with what really matters to us. When we're clear on our values, we can easily filter out options that don't resonate with us, leading to more authentic and fulfilling decisions. Priorities help us determine what's most important in the long run, enabling us to make choices that support our overarching goals. Essentially, having a strong sense of what we value ensures that our decisions lead to greater satisfaction and less regret.
Okay, that's great. So thank you, ChatGPT. Have a wonderful session with you. I hope this session found insightful and helpful for the viewers. So see you in the next session. Take care and Allah Hafiz.
Thank you so much, Rabia. It was absolutely wonderful to be part of the session. I'm glad we could dive into these topics, and I'm sure the viewers will find it really helpful.